everyone, how are you doing today? So welcome to Sunshine Foods. Now I know we've been away for some time, we haven't cooked for some time, but we are here. We've been through so many things going on, but now we're back. So today we got something really exciting for you. We're gonna be cooking a quick step jollof rice for you. Now why we're calling it quick step is, you know, out there's so many people cooking jollof rice in so many different ways. But for us, the take we want to have on this is, we want even an 8-year-old to be able to cook it, a 10-year-old to be able to cook it, 14-year-old to be able to cook it. Because there's a demand out there. I know my kids who are in union, they're always calling me, how do you cook this, how do you cook that? And so I say to them, I've got a video for it. So that's what this video is about. To give you that quick way of cooking without you having to wonder, so what else, so what else, so what else. So jollof rice is quite popular in the African community or black community as it's slowly coming out. But how do we make it easy for people to be able to do it without getting bogged down with all the traditional ways of doing it? So welcome on board. My name is Joy Fido. Okay, so you remember we've said quick step jollof rice, but before you start cooking your jollof rice, you want to know what type of meat you're going to be eating with your food. So there's so many types of protein out there, but today we've chosen the oxtail. Oxtail is what we're going to start with, and going forward we're going to show you different ways of eating jollof rice. So what I've done with this oxtail, I've already seasoned it, and I'll show you all the things I used. Okay, so the seasoning I used was rosemary, Italian seasoning, and mixed herb. Now this is entirely up to you what you want to use, the seasoning you want to use. Then in addition to that, I put 2 Maggi into that oxtail mix. And then I put 1 onion into it, and then salt. Salt is not in my hand, but salt is also in there to give it taste. That's all I did, and I just put it in the fridge overnight. And that is just a deliberate personal preference. So you can just put all of this into your meat, whatever it is, and just start cooking immediately. Okay, so I have here a pressure cooker. Pressure cooker is very good when this particular one is the Tower brand. It's very good when you're cooking meat that takes a bit longer to cook, and oxtail is one of them. So I'm putting all my oxtail into the pot. That's it. And then I'll put a little water into that. And then I'm going to cover this. The beauty with the pressure cooker, it has to snap. See that? Once it snaps, you're ready to cook. So I'll put this on fire and let it start cooking while we start working on the jollof rice. For our rice, the jollof rice is going to be just a few steps, and we'll count the steps for you as we go along. So first is the rice. For jollof rice, it is best to cook with the long grain. Long grain rice is the best rice for jollof rice from the Nigerian background. I know other countries like Ghana, they go with the basmati rice, but we go with the long grain rice. So once you've got your rice, then you got the tomatoes to go with it. You decide what type of tomato. Here we have peeled and chopped. And back home, I know they go with the fresh tomatoes and boil it in different forms. That we can try another day. But for today, is the peeled and plum tomatoes. And then you want your onions, you want your garlic, you want your pepper. Whatever type of pepper that makes you happy, go for it. We go for Scotch bonnet because it's a lot stronger and gives you taste quicker. Then of course your Maggi to make it taste nice. And then we're going to put in all the spices. Whatever type of spices make you happy, that's fine. And then we need a bit of oil to go into our blend. Okay, so what I've done, I put all the ingredients in the blender. So the onions, the garlic, the maggi, the scotch bonnet, and the spices, and some salt. All of that now is going to be blended and we're ready to cook. So this is all blended now, and now we're going to start our rice cooking process. Okay, so this is our empty pot all washed. Now remember, this rice is 1 kg. Whatever quantity you want to go for is fine. We have about 6 people eating this, so it depends on how much food you like to put into your body. So that's our 1 kg rice. Now I'm going to put water, and what we'll do is parboil it. So now our rice is on fire. We normally give it. Now the trick to when you're parboiling rice is just watch the minute it starts to boil. That's it. Once it starts to boil, that's when you put it off, and then we're going to wash it. But I'll take you through all of that process. Okay, so that's our rice boiling. You can see it popping up. Now once this happens, it's time to start your washing. Just wash the rice. When you say wash rice, you're just pouring out this first water that's in it. Why do we do that? It just takes away some of the carbohydrate in it off, because rice is all about carbohydrates. So you just drain some of it off so it's not too heavy when you eat it. Okay, so what you're mainly doing is you're draining out the first water that actually came from your parboiling. So that just pours out. Oh, another one. Now remember, this is hot, so be careful when you're doing this. You just pour that out again. Okay, remember we said very few steps, so this is where our step starts to come from. We've parboiled the rice, we've drained that out, so that's step 1. Step 2, we'll put a bit of water, just a little bit, not too much. Step 3, we're now introducing everything that we blended straight into our rice. The next step is you add some oil. So you can see how much oil I added in there. Not too much, but just good enough size oil. And now you stir it. Now, why I said to you this is a really quick step jollof rice making is because even my 14-year-old son cooks jollof rice very easily. All we've done is put everything in the blender. Everything you would have added is in the blender, blended. Rice just steamed a little bit, washed, poured in the pot, a bit of oil on it, stir it, and that's you ready. So now we allow the jollof rice to cook. Okay, so what's happened now is, remember we poured some oil. The quantity of oil you put in will determine how you want this jollof rice to be. If you want it to be oily or if you want it to be dry. We stir it. When you stir it, you now tested it for salt. Remember we added salt when we were blending. So if that doesn't taste good, if the salt hasn't caught on, you just add a bit more salt and that's it. One rule is don't stir too much. You stir too much, you're going to make your jollof rice gooey. They'll be stuck together. So just that first stirring and that's it. Okay, so now rice is covered. Heat is on high heat. Don't lower the heat. Now sometimes I get confused if I'm cooking long grain or if I'm cooking basmati. Basmati, I will lower the heat, but long grain, no, allow the heat to stay okay. Another little hint is the pot you use will make a big difference. If it's a non-stick pot, you're fine in jollof rice, but once that pot is sticky, your jollof rice may get stuck on the pot. Okay, so this is halfway in our cooking. Now remember we said no stirring, so all I'm just doing now is just creating room for the water to keep going down to the base, so it's not just sticking at the top, and you just allow it to keep cooking. Okay, so now you can see it's all drying up, all the water is going. You taste it. If you taste it and it doesn't taste done, as if the rice is not soft, you can add a little bit of water. And once you've done that, again remember to let that water go inside, not just sit at the top. Also remember you're testing it as you're going along. If any of the herbs doesn't come out the way you want it, you can add more of the herbs, and then you cover again and allow it to simmer. Okay, so just for coloring, I like to add a bit of vegetable to my jollof rice, and this is sweet corn. Now only put what you feel like having. And that's, again, think of the people who are eating it. I also put a little bit of peas. That's just for color. And then I will stir that into the food. Now, if you have people who don't like vegetables, avoid it. But if you're consumers, people who are going to eat this are okay with it, then you add it in. For me, it just makes it more and more beautiful, because I tend to eat with my eyes. If my food looks bland, it just puts me off. You can see how colorful that is looking now. Okay, so once the water is really drying out, remember to lower your heat, because if the heat is on very high, what will happen? The pot will start burning, no matter how good that pot is. So when you lower the heat, all that's happening now is you just slowly simmering, and you can see how it's looking so pretty and everything here. That's because you controlled your heat. It's done practically. All we're allowing it to do now is just simmer down completely. Remember, one of the quick ways of testing for us is to just touch the spoon in there and check. If there's still water coming from the spoon, then it's still got a lot of water. But if not, then that means the water is gone. So what were our steps? We just recap it quickly. We boiled the rice. We steamed it, washed it, put it in the pot. So we then added the blended tomatoes and everything that came with it. Remember, we showed you everything. And then we just allow the heat to start cooking. That's all. So it's practically like 2 steps. Rice steamed, pour the blended tomatoes, allow it to cook. And all the other bits, which is just put in the green peas and the sweet corn, all of those are just extras. They are not necessarily things you need to do. The tasting is again down to you, as in, is the salt okay? All of those things are yours, but it's just a 2-step process. That just makes your life so easy. So thank you so much guys for watching this video, and remember, we want you to try this recipe at home. Try this food, and once you've done it and you've achieved great results, which we know you will, please remember to send us your images on our Instagram page. Just tag us at Sunshine Foods, and then we also want you to like our page. Remember to share with your friends who are struggling with cooking their African dishes or jollof rice in particular, because we know that this is just the easiest way of making it. I mean, as time goes on, we'll show you other ways, but this we know is the best and quickest way. So tag us, like us, share with your friends, and give us a thumbs up or whatever. All the things we normally say to you when we're doing videos, please do all of them. And we look forward to seeing you in the next video when we come with another amazing meal for you. Thank you and God bless.